Enjoy your own company, instead of expecting someone else make you happy. That awesome moment, when you're f***ing happy, and you don't know why. Don't get emotionally attached to anyone. I am not really single, I am dating myself, I take myself out to eat, I buy myself clothes, I love me, I'm awesome. Sitting alone, and enjoying your own company, is better than being surrounded by fake people. Birthdays give you another year to be fabulous. Life is short, just do what the fuck makes you happy. If you want to be strong, learn to live alone. Sometimes, I don't feel like going to work, but then I remember, I was born cute, not rich. They keep saying, the right person will come along. I think, mine got hit by truck. If your teacher is woman, about 80% of your grade depends on her husband. Is your body from McDonald's? Because I'm loving it. To be successful, you don't need beautiful face and heroic body. What you need is skillful mind and ability to perform. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. I suddenly think the job of acting is a difficult one. It's not as flip, irrelevant, and shallow a calling as I thought it was in the 80s. The older you get, the more you realize how happenstance has helped to determine your path through life. I think you're bound to get a sense of any character that you play. It's not something you often do in comedy. Apart from the fact that your physical ability starts to decline, I also think someone in their 50s being childlike becomes a little sad. You've got to be careful. Look, if I'd wanted a lecture on the rights of man, I'd have gone to bed with Martin Luther. I can be reasonably funny and light-hearted when I'm in the company of good friends, but I'm not a jokesmith. I tend to be quite serious. It's the difficulty we had with Mr. Bean, actually, when it went from TV to film. You certainly discover that you need to explain more about a character. I have always regarded Mr. Bean as a timeless, ageless character, and I would rather he be remembered as a character, mostly in his 30s and 40s. In the modern media age, we are rarely surprised by what we see. Whether it's on television, or film, or in the theater, everything is so advertised, so trailed, that most entertainment is merely what you thought it was going to be like. I'm not a naturally funny man. I find that I can only be funny if I become someone else. But I always feel that, whatever I do, I could do better. I suppose it is perfectionism. People think, because I can make them laugh on the stage, I'll be able to make them laugh in person. That isn't the case at all. I am essentially a rather quiet, dull person, who just happens to be a performer. I have to say that I've always believed perfectionism is more of a disease than a quality. I do try to go with the flow, but I can't let go. I have always worried about things more than I should. Please, you don't. The path of my life is strewn with cowpats from the devil's own satanic herd. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson was born on 6th of January, 1955. He is an English actor, comedian, and writer. He played the title roles on the sitcoms Blackadder in 1983 to 1989, and Mr. Bean, in 1990 to 1995, and the film series Johnny English, in 2003 to 2018. Atkinson first came to prominence in the BBC sketch comedy show, Not the 9 O'Clock News, 1979 to 1982, receiving the 1981 British Academy Television Award for Best Entertainment Performance, and The Secret Policeman's Ball in 1979, where he performed a skit. Atkinson was listed in The Observer as one of the 50 funniest actors in British comedy in 2003, and among the top 50 comedians ever in a 2005 poll of fellow comedians. Atkinson's other creation, the hapless Mr. Bean, first appeared on New Year's Day in 1990 in a half-hour special for Thames Television. The character of Mr. Bean has been likened to a modern-day Buster Keaton, but Atkinson himself has stated that Jacques Tati's character, Monsieur Rouleau, was the main inspiration. Mr. Bean is a British sitcom created by Rowan Atkinson and Richard Curtis while he was studying for his master's degree at the University of Oxford, produced by Tiger Aspect, and starring Atkinson as the title character. The series centers on Mr. Bean. Atkinson states, "The essence of Mr. Bean is that he's entirely selfish and self-centered, and doesn't actually acknowledge the outside world. He's a child in a man's body," which is what most visual comedians are about. Stan Laurel, Chaplin, Benny Hill. As he solves various problems presented by everyday tasks, and often causes disruption in the process. The sitcom consists of 15 episodes that were co-written by Atkinson, alongside Curtis and Robin Driscoll. For the pilot, it was co-written by Ben Elton. The series was originally broadcast on ITV, beginning with the pilot on January 1, 1990, and ending with The Best Bits of Mr. Bean on December 15, 1995. Uses very little intelligible dialogue, making it accessible to people who know little or no English. During its original 5-year run, Mr. Bean met with widespread acclaim and attracted large television audiences. The series was viewed by 18.74 million viewers for the episode, The Trouble with Mr. Bean. The character's name was not decided until after the first episode had been produced. A number of other vegetable-influenced names, such as Mr. Cauliflower, were explored. Several sequels to Mr. Bean appeared on television until 1995, and the character later appeared in a feature film. Bean in 1997 was directed by Mel Smith, Atkinson's colleague. A second film, Mr. Bean's Holiday, was released in 2007. Atkinson, reprising his role as Mr. Bean for a performance at the London 2012 Summer Olympics opening ceremony. Teddy is Mr. Bean's teddy bear, and apparently, best friend. This little brown bear is a knitted oddity with button eyes and sausage-shaped limbs, which invariably end up broken in half, or in various other states of destruction and disfiguration. Although Teddy is inanimate, Mr. Bean often pretends it is alive.